So after the Direct aired for the Switch 2, there was this point, it was pretty brief, where spirits were really high. We had just gotten this great big massive Direct, unveiling a new console generation and a console with better specs than I think anyone was expecting, especially from Nintendo. Some really solid looking games, both first and third party, were shown off too. Things were great. It was the best time to be a Nintendo fan. Then we find out that the Switch 2 is going to be $450. Honestly, I think that's probably a good $50 more than I was anticipating, but looking at what this baby can pull off, 120 FPS in handheld, 4K 60 FPS docked, I actually don't have a huge problem with the price of the console itself. It's going to be a little bit of a swing to pull off, especially given my current situation in life, but with proper budgeting, I think I can make it work. This is going to be a purchase that'll probably last me the next 10-ish years. So $450 now for a sophisticated piece of hardware that's going to bring me literally thousands of hours of enjoyment over the next decade seems like a worthwhile investment to me. Especially now, because my niece and nephew are going to be able to grow up playing this console with me. It's going to be so cool. With all of that in mind, I can totally get behind that $450 price point. It's the price of the games themselves, on the other hand. That's something we need to talk about. Now, we knew there was going to be a price bump for some of the bigger first-party games. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was a sign of things to come, with its weird, high $80 price point. But never in a million years did I think I would be paying $80 for a Mario Kart game. That feels a little high for any racing game, no matter how big or grand or expansive the game is. Donkey Kong Bonanza is only going to be $70, so I hope that's a little more telling of what we should be expecting for first-party price points. But I feel like Nintendo's getting a little brazen here with their pricing on Mario Kart. Now, according to the Japanese eShop listing, the game's supposed to be like 23.4 gigabytes. And this is Nintendo we're talking about. They're the masters of data compression. So there's a chance that this game is going to be a lot bigger and a lot more complex than we actually know. There's a chance that on the 17th, when we get this Mario Kart Direct, that we're going to get this huge aha moment like, this is why the game is so damn expensive. I don't know, but 23 gigabytes is huge for a Mario Kart game. For comparison, Donkey Kong Bonanza, a big 3D platformer with a complex and unique destruction mechanic, is listed at 10 gigabytes. So Mario Kart is more than double the file size of this game. We also got other pricing information, like we got the price for the Mario Kart digital bundle of the Switch 2. Now, if you're not a huge physical collector, this is absolutely the edition you should be buying. They have it priced at $500, and the base price of the console is $450. So that means you're getting Mario Kart for only $50 rather than the $80 you'd be paying otherwise. That is a surprisingly decent deal given everything else going on with Nintendo's prices. They also gave us some of the prices for the Switch 2 editions of games. Some of them, like Kirby, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Party, are priced at $80, while other games like Breath of the Wild are priced at $70. According to a recent interview with Doug Bowser, it looks like they're going to try implementing a variable pricing system, where a game's price is more reflective of the game. Like the time, the effort, the resources that went into making the game, the quality of the gameplay and experience itself. That could be a really good thing. It could mean we might not have to pay $70 for what feels like a $50 game. Of course, there's always going to be a level of subjectiveness when it comes to what a game is worth. We've seen glimpses of them trying out variable pricing here and there, like with the lower price point for Mario vs. Donkey Kong and the higher price for Tears of the Kingdom. I think it just makes sense to do it that way, rather than setting some arbitrary benchmark price that all the other games have to cost. Now, we also got some prices on accessories too. The Pro Controller is going to be $80, which feels really low to me considering I'm pretty sure the last one was $80. Oh, I mean, I'm not complaining. A pair of Joy-Con 2s are going to cost $90, so there goes any chance of me trying to collect all the variants like I did with the regular Joy-Cons. Knowing me though, I'm probably going to pick up a themed Joy-Con set when they start dropping those. Say there's like a special edition Mario or a special edition Zelda. Like right now, my Switch OLED is rocking one Zelda Joy-Con and one Peely from Fortnite Joy-Con. See, I like to make sure that someone can just take one look at my Switch and they know what kind of gamer I am. It looks like there's also going to be a charging grip for the Joy-Con 2s, and it's only going to cost $35, probably made by Hori. They're doing those stupid little wheel inserts for the Joy-Cons again, for those 5 people who play Mario Kart with motion controls. I don't know what it is with Nintendo and steering wheel peripherals. They must sell well for them to keep on making them, though. We also got the price for the Switch 2 camera. It's only $50. That's not too bad, especially because it's a 1080p camera. I still don't think I'm going to be picking up the Switch 2 camera, just because I think there's a good chance I'll be able to hook up my own webcam. I only say that because it looks like we're getting some Hori brand budget camera option, but it's actually a really cool camera, even though the quality of the camera itself is going to suck. It's a full-on piranha plant inside a warp pipe, and it's really cool. The camera is hiding inside of the mouth, and his neck is like the beam elevating the camera. I really like it. But it's going to be 480p, and it's $30, so if I had a little more throwing around money, then yeah, I would totally get it just for how cool it looks. Let's see, what else do we have here? A basic carrying case with a screen protector, $35. An all-in-one carrying case, that's $80. And then the lone charger is $30. And I'm pretty sure that's it on pricing stuff. Now, I'm going to address the big, giant elephant in the room. It's also the reason I keep pushing back this video. That scary T word. Yeah, that's it. I'm talking about tariffs. Everyone is talking about tariffs. If you live under a rock or have incredible mental health because you're not on Twitter or watch the news, the current administration of the United States declared a 47% tariff on imports from Vietnam. Vietnam happens to be the location where Nintendo has their primary manufacturing plant. So, due to the unprecedented nature of the tariffs, Nintendo put a delay on the pre-orders and pushed them back to like a TBA date while promising to still deliver on the initial release date for June 5th. Now, obviously, they're holding off on the pre-orders so they can reevaluate the current price point and see what impact the tariffs are going to have. So it looks like we're going to see a potential increase in the price here in the US at least. There's actually a lot of discourse on the internet right now surrounding the topic, and I kind of want to say my piece on it. Now, this is coming from someone who's had 3.5 years as a finance major, who also just picked up a double major with supply chain management. This is kind of my area of expertise, but I'm also not the leading authority here. I'm a student, I'm still learning, and I could be wrong about some things. If I am, please correct me down in the comments, but kindly. I know this is an issue that gets people really fired up, so I don't need any hate comments if I got something wrong or a little inaccurate. I'll be sure to pin any accurate and objective corrections. So these tariffs that the US put on imports from Japan and Vietnam, I don't think they're going to affect the Switch 2 price in the way you think. I'm going to preface all of this by saying I'm not here to make any political points or take any political stances. I couldn't be bothered to care about all that drama. I'm just talking about economics. Cold, hard numbers. I like numbers. First off, I really want to shut down that misconception that the 47% tariff means we're going to see a 47% hike in the price. This is not that black and white of an issue. The Nintendo Switch 2 isn't getting a $212 price hike to accommodate the tariffs. That's just not how tariffs work, and that's not how a company like Nintendo works. A tariff is calculated on the cost of goods sold at the time of import, not the price that it's going to sell for on the store shelves. So, for example, let's look at the Switch 1. It had an approximate cost of goods sold of around $250 per unit. So that means to manufacture and package a complete unit, the console, the controllers, inserts, charger, costed Nintendo about $250. The Switch then sold on the store shelves for $300. That means the per unit profit margins were about 16%. Profit margins are calculated by revenue minus cost divided by revenue again. That's the formula that they use to calculate profit margins. Now, Nintendo actually did manage to get that cost of goods sold brought down. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it happened over time. They got more efficient in their production process, and they eventually offshored their manufacturing to the new plant in Vietnam. All of that brought their costs down significantly. But the point here is that I think the cost of goods sold on a Switch 2 unit is likely going to be, and I am speculating here, this is assuming profit margins of 20%. It's probably going to be a cost of goods sold of like maybe $360, $380. I don't know. I really don't know what it costs to make this console. It's beefy, it's powerful, so it could be more. It could be like a $400 cost of goods sold. But either way, that 47% tariff Nintendo is going to have to be paying would be calculated off of that number. Yeah, that still adds like $170 to $190 to the costs, but they have other ways of offsetting those costs. Right now, the execs at Nintendo are probably trying to figure out ways to bring that cost down. They do that by reallocating their assigned overhead, redistributing costs, and trying to figure out a way to reduce the severity of the potential price increase without getting too hurt by the tariffs. Doug Bowser did also confirm that there are already retail-ready units out there globally, which means that's another factor they can consider when calculating a new price point. If there's already units in the US, that's less that there's going to need to be shipped over. They could also drop their targeted profit margins a little bit by just not pricing the Switch as high as they would need to completely offset the effects of the tariffs. They could take a little hit per unit in the profit margins and make up for it with the higher number of units they sell. They could also shrink the number of units that they ship to the US to soften the blow of the tariffs, but I don't think that's an option they're too crazy about, and here's why. See, Nintendo's shareholders care much more about the number of console units sold than they do about the profit margins per console. Sure, the more profit the better, higher margins are always good, but the console is a means to an end, and that end is software. It's NSO subscriptions, expansions, upgrades, games. The more people with consoles in their hands, then the more people who can purchase the software and pay them their annual or monthly fees. It might be one of those issues where their hands are tied, though. We might see a mix of shortages, price increases, and maybe even delays. At the end of the day, it's up to Nintendo to decide what's best for them, what they're willing to do for the consumer, or what they're willing to do to the consumer. But basically, the message here is don't worry about how the tariffs are going to affect the Switch 2. Maybe put aside an extra $50, $75 just to be safe. You've got 2 months to figure it out. And if it's that big of a blow for you to spend that much, just don't buy the Switch 2 console on launch day. There's no rule that says you need to buy the console the second it's available. Practice some financial discipline. Let yourself wait another paycheck or two. Don't put yourself in a tight spot over a new console with only really one significant exclusive at the time of launch. I don't know, I'm not here to give financial advice, but if I was going to give financial advice, I would say that when you pre-order your Switch 2, maybe consider doing it from Target, using a Target Circle membership. It's going to knock like $22.50 off your price, and that's calculated off of the price right now, not with price hikes. Well, that's pretty much all I've got to say about it for now. At the time of editing this video, it was just announced that the tariffs on all countries except for China are being temporarily lifted for 90 days. This might actually be a great opportunity for Nintendo to really quickly get a bunch of units shipped over to North America before they go and change their minds again. Because the Switch 2 is scheduled for June 5th and the tariffs aren't going to be re-implemented until July. I'm sure by the time this video is posted, the status will have changed again. I don't know. We're living in crazy times, man. Things are weird. There's no easy answer to anything. I'm gonna sign off and get working on my next project. I've got some fun video essay ideas in the work, and a video series I've been trying to get going. I might pump out some fun little projects like a top 10 video or something, just to keep honing my editing skills, get a little better with levels on my mic. But until next time, it would be awesome if you left a like or a comment on the video, tell me your thoughts on the Switch 2 pricing. And if you're really liking what I'm putting out, which I don't know why you would, it's kind of garbage, but I'm doing my best. But if you like it, consider subscribing. Well, that's it for me. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you guys.
You're getting very greedy. You are me, Wario. You're very handsome. You have amazing powers. Plunder and pillage pirates' treasure. Bag up a zillion coins. Buy me a castle bigger than Mario's. Repeat after me. I'm the bad guy in Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, where being bad is good and greed is good. Come and get it on Game Boy, greedy.